no matter what people want.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, 3 Degrees of Love, 3 Degrees of Love Divination. It's your girl Alana here. So, today is Thursday, and as you may or may not remember, I said that Thursdays are my therapy days. And as I want to continue this series, Therapy and Tarot, I wanted to, while diving into a few things, talk about generational trauma. So while I figured we talk about that, we can also go through some other decks that have recently come into my collection, and that I think in my last video that I did, when I did talk about the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, and also announced the giveaway that will be triggered as soon as I hit 200 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be able the opportunity to enter the giveaway for the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, which is actually now out of print, and that is by Rue and Vervain, and was gifted to me lovingly by Serafina, and I want to thank her again for the deck. It was a fluke how I ended up with 2 copies, and that is why, you know, I wanted to do the giveaway. So if you haven't already subscribed, you know, by all means, please like, share, and subscribe. The faster we get to 200 subscribers here on my channel, then the faster we can trigger the giveaway. So yeah, also if you haven't seen the video where I talked about the decks and or sorry, the decks that were coming in or that came in all around shadow work and that sort of omen that I had discussed in my previous video, then everything will be linked in the description box down below. So with that being said, the next deck that came in that you may have seen, it was in the packaging box at the time, and it was underneath the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle when I was unboxing it. It was also, there was also my Kickstarter recently came in from La Mucci Design for the Shadow Reflections deck. So I figured while we're you know, talking about generational trauma and shadow work and therapy and tarot, you know, we can get in and take a look at the deck. Also, I also received my giveaway that I won. That was a collab giveaway with RP Studios and Priscilla from A Life Full of Simplicity on her channel, as she's an ambassador for RP Studios, and she receives decks and books for review. She had recently hosted a giveaway. Actually, I think it was 2 giveaways. I think one was on Instagram and the other one was on her YouTube channel. But anyway, I won the one that was on the YouTube channel, and that was for Letting the Magic In, a memoir of becoming, and that is by Maia, and who is also the author of The Night School. And so not only did I win book, but the giveaway was also for the Little RP Studios mini deck. And I want to thank both Maia Toll, Reading Press, and the beloved Priscilla for this opportunity and for this giveaway. I was shocked to have won it, but never the more grateful. And I feel like, again, it's another thing that that just adds to what I feel is my calling, if you will, and my life path, and just everything that is meaningful for me, and love and mental health and advocacy and healing, and so that's why too, all of this means so much. So it's the Daily Magical, a deck of mystical inspiration for your everyday life. And I'm not going to do a walkthrough, of course. If you want to see a walkthrough of this deck, I will definitely have Priscilla's walkthrough of this deck linked in the description box, so you can take a look at that. But I just wanted to give that shout out and mention, because I'm always grateful for everything, and and any opportunity, wonderful opportunity, and for generosity, whether it's me giving it or it's coming to me. To me, it's all about love and kindness and community support, and that's to me what the idea of love and spirituality and all of this represents for me and means. So yeah, so again, thank you. I am very, very grateful and cannot wait to be able to use the deck and read the book. Of course, another book. And for those of you who do know me and my love of books and knowledge and reading and just, I'm a nerd that way. So, words and creativity and all of this stuff just means everything to me. So anyway, so with that, putting that aside, let's get into the Dark Reflections deck by Lamucci Design. I think I called it the Shadow Reflections, but it's the Dark Reflections. But anyways, so it came in this, well, it didn't come in the bag, but this is the bag that came with it. It's such a gorgeous velvet bag. And of course, so also I should point out that with the Kickstarter, now this is just my nerdiness. It came with an additional tin that you could use for traveling, I guess. As much as I think it's a great thing, and I love the way the cards do fit in inside the box. It's just a regular tin with some foam placements, but I actually took it out of the box and put it in here just to see how it fit, and I really I loved how it fit. The only thing is that, well, I find that with the tin, the lid isn't as very secure as with the original box that it comes in. So that's like the one thing where I was like, could I, it's great, but is it really necessary? But you know what? To each its own, and it's still beautiful. I love the design on the lid of the box. And it's not to say that I, you know, probably wouldn't use it at some point, but I probably would use it for something else. Actually, it was funny. I was thinking that if there was a tarot cloth, ooh. So I also have the Phantom Tarot, also by Lamucci Design, and that had a gorgeous tapestry, cloth, silk, cloth, if you will. But like, the reason why I say tapestry, because I think it was larger than what would be the average reading cloth or whatever. So, you know, it looked like something that you can hang. I can't quite remember. Don't quote me on it, if it was a tapestry, if it's just a reading cloth, but I think you can probably use it for both. So, but anyways, based on the size of it and how I guess I packaged it, I thought that if there was one for the Dark Reflections Tarot, that's probably where I would probably house it inside of this tin. So anyway, so let's just quickly take a look at the deck, and you'll see why, again, it's something that is meaningful to me in, you know, not only with my chosen profession, but also, you know, mental health advocate and the understanding of shadow work and what that means, and, you know, and stuff like that. So this is the deck, this is the box, and I think it's, you know, I love the inside. You cannot become the best version of yourself until you love your worst version. Because after you give love to your darkness, the light comes. And that is the path to healing. And like, I read that, and it just, it's like, to me, it's like the confirmation of what therapy is for me. What, just, you know, the whole concept. And when we talk about mental health and understanding, you know, what our you know, what our trauma is, what our triggers are, and where they come from and why. And it's not until we can sort of, you know, separate ourselves from our emotions that we can do the work to confront these things. You know, and it's first the admission, you know, and the recognition that has, you know, that comes first before we can really step in to do the work for healing. You know, and the commitment that it takes, because confronting your darkness is never easy. You know, and I think maybe that's probably why a lot of people run from it. But the thing is, what ends up happening when we run from these things, you know, or we only look at it from one point of view, or one perspective, or only see the one half of the larger whole, we miss vital information, if you will. You know, and that's where I feel like when we don't see the whole, we can now unconsciously end up repeating some of the same negative karmic cycles, you know, and transferring the trauma that we experienced, whether it be knowingly or unknowingly, or, you know, or just by repetitive pattern, you know, onto future generations. You know, and not just, and not even just from a familial perspective, but from community, from a global perspective, right? Because as I've mentioned before, we are all selves. We are all, we're all people, right? We're all beings. And we don't live, on this planet by ourselves. We live and interact on the daily with various people, right? And various selves. And if we understand what it's like to have trauma, then we have to be able to recognize that as we experience trauma and we have may have a traumatic past, so do other beings that we interact with. So that is why, to me, it is very important not only to do the healing work for ourselves to become whole beings, but also so that we can break the generational patterns, that has that may have been, put on us now, but also now being able to recognize that so we can stop that cycle from continuing. And there has been, when I talk about the divide between, spirituality, organized religion, and just us as beings, and right, the disconnect, well, we've been repeating the same cycles for so long, and at present, all I see when I look around is such chaos. So it's important for us to be able to slow down and take that time to do the self-reflection, to do the work. As I said, and I keep saying, we're in a mental health crisis right now, globally speaking. And being able to sit and pinpoint and recognize that, as individuals, that is something that we all are experiencing. It is also very important to be mindful and kind to others, just as we want for ourselves. So anyway, getting back in, Dark Reflections, the tarot deck. So yeah, it has the ribbon pull to take out the deck. Well, it's just easier to dump it, especially when, and I know that a lot of people like to talk about when they're doing reviews and things like that, but the box, the box is great, and I know, with some people, having the opportunity to be able to open the flap sort of all the way down to here. There are some boxes that are created like that, but to me it really doesn't matter. I love it, so that's that. It has the little guidebook, and of course, all color here, and then the cards. And why didn't I take out the Earth, Moon, and Shadow? Because then we could have done anyways, together. But I'll probably put some images of the cards from the Earth, Moon, and Shadow on the screen, just so we can see, the aesthetic here. So this is a full tarot deck, whereas the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, of course, was an oracle deck. So of course, the typical 78, I believe this might be an 80 card deck. I can't remember. Anyways, when we get into it, and I'll probably just link the info on screen, if anything. The Fool, the Magician, And yeah, so you know, when this deck was first coming out, and well, even during the campaign, you know, the well, Dark Reflections, and the whole premise of it is it's meant to be for shadow work. You know, and you know, and even just the theme too, like, I mean, it is more of a darker color palette, if you will. So, you know, the cards have more of a very sort of darker colors in the art. And but the other thing that I really like about that I really liked about the campaign and the overall premise of this deck is, so of course the you know, the background theme is red for the wands, blue, a darker blue for the cups, and we have yellow for the swords, and we have green for the pentacles, for the basically the earth. So yeah, and then yeah, so it is an 80 card deck because we have light and we have shadow. The 2 additional cards that came with the deck. And I love that. So besides the, you know, well, you know, the cards, and again, I talk about the, always, you know, wanting a good guidebook, and why I very much enjoy having a guidebook. You know, not to say that I can't read the tarot cards without it, but especially when, well, to me, it's, you know, I see it as being something sacred, if you will, not just for me as the user, but the sacredness of the art and the creator and their vision. And so when there's an accompanying guidebook that also includes, you know, a description and maybe a summary of the card, it to me, it enhances the meaning for me. And because, you know, as individuals, we all have different interpretations, you know, and take meaning, the meaning of something differently, if you will, and also depending on the situation that we may be reading about, right? So, right, so that's me. But so the way, okay, ooh. Of course I'm going to stop on the Lovers because love is a choice. Why not? But here we have the card, and of course the guidebook is in color, and we have the Lovers. The Lovers represents partnerships, connections, choices, and the balance of masculine and feminine energies. Number 6, ruling planet Mercury, sign Gemini, element air. And then we have shadow traits to explore, disharmonious versus balanced, challenges when repressed, indecisiveness, irresponsibility, fear of intimacy, external validation, lack of trust, infidelity, lack of self-love, emotionless. Growth opportunities when accepted, responsibility, self-love, balanced relationships, trusting love, mind-heart connection, equality, ability to negotiate. Questions to ask. Do you feel loved? Do you love yourself? Where are the blocks in your relationship? Do you have common interests with someone? What do you value? So, and this is exactly what, to me, you know, doing deep introspection work is about, and you know, and bridging that gap between mindfulness, therapy, introspection, self-exploration, if you will. So while I will continue to reiterate that none of this is something that I would say is to be a replacement for therapy and professional help, but it is something that I, you know, would very much promote, you know, as an additional tool to that can, you know, can enhance therapy sessions. And it's certainly a practice that I use for myself to enhance my therapy sessions. And I guess in a way too, I find it easy for me because of my educational background, because of my you know, my religious, spiritual upbringings, and things like that, you know, bringing all that sort of information and that knowledge together to, you know, in the process of, you know, reflection and even in therapy and all of that stuff, you know, like I've devoted my career to, you know, to community building and support and, you know, mental health, right? As I've said before, all of these are something, you know, that I value highly and that mean so much to me. It's my life, it's my work. Essentially, it's who I am. So, you know, so when things like, you know, this come out and the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, and we have daily magic, you know, a deck for daily inspiration and things like that. Like, yes. So, you know, the other cool thing, this cover or book thing, I bought this on Amazon. So no, this did not come with the Kickstarter. This was my own thing. And what I have in here is, did I find this? No, I didn't. Okay. And of course is the rest of what came as part of this Kickstarter for the Dark Reflections Tarot. So the other really cool thing, besides the fact that there is the included guidebook with the deck, is the fact that there is a guide for tarot readers. And so this is, you know, and a sort of expanded how to, if you will, on shadow work, the reasons, you know, sort of explaining, you know, some techniques, why we may avoid shadow work, why it can be intimidating, you know. There's a lot of there's tarot spreads, actually quite a few tarot spreads, and developing self-awareness, how to use the journal for shadow work. Like this is I would say is a very extensive shadow work system, if you will. And I love the quote on the back: "In order to know the light, we must first experience the darkness." Carl Jung. And if you remember, you know, in the video I did with beloved Priscilla from A Life Full of Simplicity, we get in and we talk about Carl Jung and Freud and, you know, the iceberg model and things like that, you know, and really dive into the understanding of shadow work from, you know, more of I would say, a clinical perspective, you know, social work, psychology perspective, as well as the, you know, the spirituality component to that, you know, and stuff. So it came with the book. And then we have, well, this is I think the certificate of authenticity that came with the deck, and and then some stickers for journaling. Also had, and then of course the journal, which I think is also really cool. And, you know, not sure if it's faux leather or vegan or what exactly the material might be. Of course, anybody who knows can, you know, put that in the description box, or even the creator can clarify that. And I could probably look that up in editing and put that there too. But, you know, blank pages, you know, and you can, because I think this, and I love how it comes with like this sort of plastic covering for your pages. So even if you did open the, you know, the book, but anyway, or yeah, but these are like, and I'm pretty sure, excuse me, these are like a standard planner type of pages. So I'm pretty sure that even if you ran out, you can always pick up more from any local stationery store, you know, based on the size, and be able to pick up more. As cool as the sort of the dotted paper is, I would have loved lined paper too, but that again, it's not a big deal. That if I really want that, I can go out and do it myself. Not a huge issue. So yeah, so I really love this, and I cannot wait to be able to pair it even with the Earth, Moon, and Shadow Oracle, and actually other decks that I know would pair wonderfully with this. Funny, now that I think about it, I might even see what putting together with the Phantom Tarot might look like. You know, so yeah, and I just, I'm actually, you know, really excited for so many other things that I know are also coming up that have already been released. You know, there's upcoming by the same creator, Jillian C. Wild, creator of the Naked Heart Tarot. You know, she has her shadow trio of decks that she had recently put out on Kickstarter. Unfortunately, I again had to back out of that campaign, but you know, it's still I very much enjoy her work, and you know, definitely in love with the Naked Heart Tarot. And so, you know, I really would love the, you know, to be able to have and add that one day, her set into my collection, among some of her other stuff that I haven't yet picked up. And then there has been I don't remember now.
The My Therapy Cards by Dr. Ebony Butler.
There's even more, like I'm saying, as you know, as spirituality, continues to sort of expand and become more of a mainstream thing. Mind you, there are quite a bit that I feel is where there are people who do take advantage of the market, and put out things just for the sake of consumerism and stuff like that. But there are some really, really, really well done, thought out projects that have come out, and that really I think would go well. And even Marion Casentin's the Reclaim Oracle, the Reclaim Journal, even the beloved Ruth, who I featured also on my channel more recently, for this year for Bell Let's Talk, and when we discussed not only shadow work, but she's also the creator of the Emotional Kaleidoscope. And if you haven't seen me talk about that deck, not only in that video, but also when I was doing my hashtag shadow work, you say, and I put out a series of videos, decks, sets, some favorite creators, books, things like that. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. And just to me, how all this sort of comes around, to back to the whole, for me, the whole idea of introspection and therapy and confronting our pain and our trauma, and what triggers us and what contributes to that, and how that not only keeps us stuck in negative karmic cycles, but how those the lack of recognition or understanding, or consciousness, if you will, can also impact us and impact the interactions we have with other people, creating unnecessary trauma for everyone else as well. So and how that can now keep us collectively stuck, if you will, and why I see the importance of this, and being able to confront those things and do the work and the healing work, so that we all can move, forward in, into a brighter future. So yeah, with that being said, I think I want to end the video here, and to say thank you for joining me again today, for me to talk to you about shadow work and therapy and tarot, and even to just be able to give a shout out to wonderful creators and people that I've met in this community who are just absolutely wonderful and loving, and have shown nothing but kindness. A little bit more of that is definitely needed, not only within I would say even within the tarot community, but even the world in its entirety. And, you know, if you haven't already, like I said, the Earth, Moon, and Shadow, please check out that video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as soon as we get to 200 subscribers, we will be able to trigger the giveaway for that wonderful deck by Ruin Vervain and lovingly gifted to me by Serafina. So until I get to talk to you and share with you again, I want to say thank you. I am love. So are you. I love you. Take care of yourself and each other. And until next time, always live, listen, and learn. Thanks. Bye, guys.
No matter what people want.